think it can't happen to them, but I'm here to tell you it can happen to anyone. What am I going on about? I'm talking about phishing. Phishing is one of the major attack vectors for everything from internet scams to major nation-state ransomware attacks. Now, there are phishing attacks that are more like carpet bombing your targets. They are emails crafted to deceive without any or much knowledge about the targeted individual. And then there are spear phishing attacks, which are crafted to attack a specific high-value target. Spear phishing attacks often include personal details to make the attack more convincing. Now, I want to highlight a YouTuber you may or may not know about, Jim Browning.
He fights back against robocall scams and tracks frauds across the world.
Can you turn your computer off as soon as you possibly can, please?
He's not a detective, he's not a cybersecurity professional, but he is a tech-savvy engineer who's been turning the tables on robocallers and scammers.
Now, Jim has a very successful channel with 3.4 million subscribers, where he reverse hacks some of these tech support scam call centers that bilk money out of very vulnerable people. These scammers convince people to install remote control software on their computers so that the scammer can take over the victim's computer. However, he has a honeypot system that he uses. Then he uses the remote control software to open up a connection to the scammer's computer, which allows him to take control of their computer. Now, while pretending to play along, he's gathering data about the attackers, finding out all of their internal documents, and sometimes even breaking into the call center's cameras so he can see the people who are trying to rip him off. And it's really amazing stuff to see, and I encourage you to check his channel out. I'll put a link here and in the description so you can check it out. In July, Jim ended up getting scammed into deleting his channel. And this is not an unsophisticated individual. This is someone who is constantly on the lookout for scams and is acutely aware of the way that they work. But everyone can get complacent, and some scams are better crafted than others. And in this case, the attacker utilized Google's own domain to fool Jim.
Firstly, it has genuinely come from Google.com. Most phishing emails will come from something other than Google or YouTube, but here the domain is correct. After the event, I had a good look at the SMTP headers. They confirmed what I already thought. This user was able to log in to Google Chat and send emails from that domain. The email itself wasn't that well formatted, there were capital letters where they shouldn't have been, but overall the English was just about okay and there were no spelling mistakes, a sure sign of a scam. What I should have been paying attention to was the email address of this chat support account. It shouldn't have been creator-partners.com, it should have been YouTube or Google.com. But I was distracted, I was doing other things and I just wasn't paying enough attention.
In fact, this is similar to another type of attack in which malicious links are well disguised through the use of homographs. Now, homographs utilize similar looking characters to confuse the victim into believing that they are not being misled. Take this instance, for example. They both look the same, but one of these uses the Roman A Unicode character 0061, and the other uses the Cyrillic character Unicode 0430. Now, there are many characters that can be substituted that don't even rely on different languages, like using a capital I for a lowercase l, or a 0 for an O, or even using accident characters that may be hard to notice. Now, I would recommend watching this video because Jim identifies all the places that he made a mistake, and it's a great learning example. I do, however, want to point out the one thing that kept him safe, and that is two-factor authentication.
And I'm pretty sure that two-step authentication would have saved me. Even if I'd filled out the form, I'm pretty certain that the guy wouldn't have been able to log into my account simply because I had two-step authentication switched on. If you're a creator on YouTube, this is an absolute essential.
They might have been able to get his credentials eventually, but they would not have been able to get access to his account because two-factor auth would have prevented it. As it was, he ended up deleting his channel, which is a pretty significant problem for someone with 3.4 million subscribers. If only I had those kind of problems. But in the end, he was able to recover from almost everything that happened. So if you are not using two-factor auth, this is a good time to start. It's easy to turn it on and start using it, and it's great protection for you. And I recommend you taking advantage of some of these tools. So thanks for watching. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you like what you saw, please hit that like button. And also, please consider subscribing if you don't already. And I'll see you in the next video.